Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about car insurance. I'm going to sit down with my friend Walter. Walter is the one who owns Expat Auto. This is the place where I bought my car, and they also broker insurance, which is what we're going to talk about today. They also help me with my car taxes and other things that go along with car ownership. Not only do they sell cars here, and it's one of those no haggle places, whatever is listed on the car is the price of the car, which I really like because I don't really like negotiating too much. They do offer warranties on their car, which I like, and they do have their own service department. So if something happens to your car later on, if it's covered under warranty, you can just bring it here. Or if you don't have a warranty or it's expired, but you want an honest mechanic to work on it, you can bring it here as well. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We try to bring you relevant information for either traveling to or moving to Thailand. If you feel so inclined, buy us a coffee. We'd sure appreciate it. Link in the description below. Also in a link down below is Patreon if you want to give to the channel monthly. There's also a thanks right down there at the bottom where you see the word thanks. I know there's mandatory insurance here. Can you tell me about this mandatory insurance? In other words, if I buy a new motorcycle or a brand new car, I think they have mandatory insurance you have to pay for.
Right. Can
you tell us what this covers, what it doesn't?
Right. Every vehicle, used or new, you have to have the mandatory insurance. The giveaway on it is that it's 645 baht per year. So you can imagine most people think that they've got insurance when, if you ask the dealer, does it have insurance? They say yes, but it's just this mandatory insurance. I really don't call it insurance at all, but it is in the fact it does cover some medical for the parties involved, but it doesn't cover any collision insurance at all. That's a separate issue. So when you have a 645 baht charge for mandatory insurance, you have to have that paper to register your car.
Okay. So in other words, the mandatory insurance, all right, scenario, I'm driving down the road, I get into an accident with a Thai national,
right,
and their car is all messed up and they have injuries. How well would my mandatory insurance help me in that situation?
Well, first of all, it's mandatory, so if you don't have it, there's big issues.
Right.
But if you have it on the actual payout on that, I would have to check the stats on it, but it's like 10,000 or something per person involved or something. It's not a lot.
So I just had a friend of mine get into a motorcycle accident with, he's from America.
Right.
The other person was Thai, and I don't know whose fault it was, but anyway, the fault went to the American.
Right.
And she tried to get 100,000 baht from him for damages on the car, but it ended up, the insurance company said, no, that seems too much. And they awarded 40,000, and my friend had to pay 40,000 out of his own pocket. So if he just, I guess he just had mandatory, so that would have only covered.
Right. That would only cover injuries. That doesn't cover any damages at all.
And this was very minor damage.
Right, right. And so that's what you want to be careful of here, is that you do have some sort of collision insurance that you're not liable for all those damages. It can get real expensive real quick, depending on who's at fault and who's got a policeman friend and so forth.
Yeah, yes. So insurance here, does it cover the person or does it cover the vehicle? I remember a conversation I had with you all about that, but I can't remember.
Well, we just talked about mandatory insurance. That just covers the person, some bodily injury. But when you buy collision insurance, which we'll talk about the different types of that, but that covers both medical and damages, car damages, or property damage too.
So for example, though, let's say I bought a car from you, and I bought an insurance policy from you, a good one.
Right.
And I get in an accident, we're covered, I get that. But what if someone took my car, a friend of mine, and got into an accident? Because I have insurance on that car, would they be covered, or would I need to be driving that car?
You do not have to designate a driver on your insurance.
Okay.
So anybody can be driving your car, and they will pay no matter who's driving it, as long as they have a valid license or an international permit. Yeah, it'll cover them just the same.
Now, I know when I bought car insurance from you all, these terms were brought up that I wasn't used to: Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3.
Right.
Can you tell us what those classes are all about?
Class 1 or first class is basically what we Americans would call comprehensive.
Okay.
So that's full coverage. Comprehensive, full coverage, first class, that's all the same thing. When you buy first class insurance, that will cover all the damages to your car, the other car, property damages, and medical. With first class insurance, if you run it into a tree, they're going to pay for it. Or if someone hit and run you, they'll pay for your car.
Okay.
Yeah, so first class is what we recommend for most foreign people. You got big bail bonds and things in there too to help you, so you don't get in trouble there. And yeah, it's what we recommend. The only issue with first class is sometime if the car is over 7 years old, they won't insure it. But sometimes they will. It just sort of depends on the company.
Now, I'm really interested in Class 2 because the first year I was here, I bought Class 1. And this year, I can't remember why I went with Class 2, but I bought Class 2. So can you tell us a little bit about that one, especially since that's what I have?
Yeah, first class is, I don't know if these numbers make sense on a video like this, but you're talking about 14 to 15,000 baht per year, which is pretty expensive. Pretty cheap, I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
And then second class is about half that price.
Right.
Now, the second class will cover 2 vehicles, but you actually have to be in an accident with a vehicle and have a police report.
Okay.
The difference between second and first class is, like I said, you can run it into a tree and they'll pay for it.
Okay.
You can have a hit and run, they'll pay for it. Second class, you have to be in a moving accident with another vehicle and have a police report.
Okay.
And it still has coverage, it's just less coverage than first class.
So if somebody, for instance, I'm driving, since I have Class 2, so I'm driving down the road and a motorcycle comes out of nowhere, they're in the wrong, hit me, they get on their motorcycle and leave.
Second class won't pay for that.
Okay, well, good, that's good to know. All right, so we've heard first and second. Tell me about third. I would assume that's going to be the most affordable.
Third class is just what, again, as an American, we call liability. That just covers the other party's car and some property damages and some medical. Nothing on you or your car. So that's really about the cheapest, about 3,000 baht per year, which is less than $100 a year. So, you know, if you have an older car, you're not worried about being repaired, you can go with third class. And also, too, just for information for newcomers and stuff, paint and body work here is so much cheaper than in our home countries. It's fairly affordable. So unless you have a total loss or something, a fender bender or something's going to cost you a few $100s, you know.
So I remember another question I had about insurance when I bought it from you all is there insurance that you can get that has roadside assistance?
We haven't had real good luck with that, to be honest with you. It's in the policy, but sometimes our customers have been unable to contact them and so forth. But it's kind of a hit and miss deal, but it is available.
Okay.
But not all companies have it.
I see.
And it would only be available on first class insurance.
Now, I'm from the U.S., so I know that if we get in an accident in the U.S., there's this deductible thing, $1,000 deductible, $500 deductible. That's the money that you have to pay out before the insurance actually starts kicking in money. Is there deductibles on the insurance policies here in Thailand?
No, there's no deductible on the insurance policy. The only time you would end up paying more is, say for instance, you had an accident and the insurance company is going to cover that, but you had another scratch somewhere on your car or something, and then you could have that done. You would pay for that separately, something that was not involved in the accident. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have to pay a deductible.
So now if people have any questions, even if they're still living in the United States or Europe and they're planning on moving to Thailand, but they have some questions, that they want to ask, is it okay to give out your contact information for them to ask you? Do you have a Facebook account?
We have a Facebook, and mostly we use the Line program here.
Right, but if they don't have Line, do you have an email?
We have email, yeah.
Excellent. So it's okay for them to ask insurance or car-related questions to you?
Right. Yeah, we're glad to do that, you know, if they're if they're interested buyers or, looking for more information.
Well, I appreciate your time and thank you all for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We'll keep trying to bring you the best content we can about moving here to Thailand. And until next time, Kap Kun Kap.